Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana, and today I have a 3D project for you. And as you know, I love Hershey's Kisses. I even have my, this way. I'm backwards, so it's hard for me to point at things that are on myself. I have a Hershey's Kiss on my necklace today, and that is a signal that we're going to do a project with Hershey's Kisses and with Hershey's Nuggets. So when I saw the Pampered Pets bundle, I knew I would do some sort of little treat holder with it. So I played around a little bit. And one of the treat holders, you'll probably recognize the little kiss tent that I have done in the past. And the cat I have turned into a little nugget holder. So here, first of all, is the little dog, and he looks kind of like a schnauzer. I was talking to one of my team members who used to have a Scottie, and it also looks like a Scottie. So, and maybe even a little bit like a Westie, maybe different leg sizes or lengths or whatever. So it could be, it could be a lot of different dogs of that ilk, the terrier ilk. So kind of cute. And there's the little kiss on the inside. I backed up the kiss tent also with an extra shape just to give it a little bit of a backing. So that's the first one. And then my little nugget holder, this is a little cat from the same set. Let me see if I can get the glare away. And it holds a nugget because it's a flatter shape, so I needed to find a flatter candy to fit in there. So there's the little nugget on the inside. And then I also backed up the holder with another die cut shape. So the cool thing about using the Pampered Pets bundle is that we do have, it's a stamp set, and we do have die cuts that match them. So you don't have to sit there and fussy cut out anything if you don't want to. And that way we can also create a nice back for it by running through just one more time with the die cut machine. So good morning to everyone who's joined me this morning. I'm so glad you're here. Thank goodness it's Friday, right? Do some days seem like the same day to you? Like I got all my days mixed up this week. I was thinking yesterday was already Friday. But sometimes that's what happens right now. But I'm glad it's Friday. Things are a little bit different on the weekend, not quite as intense. So that's always a good thing. Now, I also want to mention before I get into the tutorial, I am going to show you how to make these from start to finish. I do have a BOGO sale going on right now. And if you're already wanting to buy some Stampin' Up products, I urge you to check out my BOGO sale, because if you're going to buy some Stampin' Up products, you may as well get some extra things for free. And so what you would get, you place an order in my Stampin' Up store, and then you can choose some of my retired products for free. I suggest you do it the reverse direction though, that you go to my BOGO sale first. So if you want to see what that is all about, just click down below, go to the blog post for this particular tutorial. Oh, excuse me. And there is a link right up at the top to my BOGO sale. It's a little banner. Click on that and you can go over there. You can see the BOGO sale products that I have available, all my retired supplies that are available, and have a look at that, and then send me an email to reserve the ones you want, because I've only got one of each item. So reserve those first, and then I will give you an amount that you need to spend in the online store to get all of those products for free. So if you're interested in that, if you already are thinking of placing a Stampin' Up order, please, take advantage of the BOGO sale. It's a really great deal, and I'm only running it until the 27th, which is Monday. Okay, let's get over and let's have a look at how to make these little kiss tents, or kiss Hershey's holders, I should call them today. All right, here's my camera, and I want to mention too that I have a project sheet for this tutorial for both of these, all on one sheet. And if you'd like that, just make sure you are a part of my email list. And to get on my email list, just look in the description of this video. There's a link that will take you to that list so you can subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, you will get that in your inbox. It will be there on Saturday. Okay. I also made these little guys in different colors, and I'll talk to you a little bit more as I'm going through how I did the different colors. Now, we do have black cats and black Scotties. So black is a very hard color to bring across. So you might not see as much detail on these ones, but I wanted to show you how you could do a black one if you wanted to. It's a little bit different. You don't want to go all black, black, otherwise you won't be able to see anything. You've probably also noticed if you have a black dog or a black cat, they are incredibly difficult to photograph. It's just because everything is black and it's very hard for the photo or the camera to capture that detail. So I'll just set these aside for a moment. And then let's talk about the Pampered Pets Bundle. Here it is. You can buy both of these separately, but if you want to make these, you'll definitely also want the die set. So when you buy the bundle, you save 10% over buying these two things separately. So the link is down below. I have both the bundle and the stamp set and the dies listed separately. Okay. You will also need a scoring board. And so I'm just going to pull mine out right now. And we'll start off by making the dog. It's very simple. The little holder. You've probably seen me do it before. This little strip of cardstock, I'm using granite gray cardstock, and this piece measures 4 inches by an inch. Just put it up at the top, make sure it's nested against the side, and then score at the 1 inch mark, the 2 inch mark, and the 3 inch mark right there. Set this aside. You'll need some Tombow. I'm going to fold this along all the score lines, just all in the same direction. And then I'm going to put some Tombow on this end segment. Just pick one, doesn't matter which one. And we're going to overlap the 2 end segments, bring them together to create a little triangle. And then you can just set this aside for a moment while we get the dog ready. Just show that to you. Very easy peasy. All right, now you'll need a piece of granite gray cardstock, a scrap piece. You'll need your dog stamp, and I'm using Memento ink. And I'm just going to ink this guy up really, really well and stamp him right on here. And lift off. And then we're going to give him a little bit of color. Now you could leave him just like this if you wanted to, but for sure I would color in the collar. So let's bring in some colors that I can use. So for sure you want to color in the collar so it doesn't look dull. So I would choose a bright color to balance out the gray. And so I'm using Real Red Light Stampin' Blends. These are alcohol markers, so they show up nicely even on colored cardstock. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a red color. And typically dogs' noses aren't, you know, white, and this one isn't colored in. So I'm going to use basic black light to color in the nose. Like that. Okay, and then so I can also highlight a little bit, and I'm going to use my gray granite dark right here, and I'm just going to hit the underbelly of the dog and also the chest. Okay, and this will dry just a little bit lighter, but it's just going to highlight the dog just a little bit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to run the dog through with your die. And so you'll just take this die right here, and you're going to run it through your die cutting machine, and then you're going to get a piece that looks like that. And you're also going to run it through a second time without the stamped image, because this is going to back up your image. And I guess now would be a really good time to also talk about, before I put my Stampin' Blends away, let's just talk about this black dog right here. And I've also done him in a kind of a lighter color gray. So if you don't like the gray granite look, you can also use Whisper White to stamp the dog on and then color. This gives you maybe a few more options in terms of coloring the dog, in terms if you want to make it a different color. If you use white as a backing, I suggest you use white for your little kiss tent and then back it up with white so everything matches nicely. On this particular dog, let me hold it up to the camera a little bit more. I used the light gray granite on the dog, the dark gray granite on the belly, and of course still the light basic black on the nose and the light real red on the collar. For the black dog, I stamped all of these in Memento Tuxedo Black, but to color him, I used the light basic black, and I just went over it once, trying not to go over it a second time because I didn't want more saturation in the color, because you'll probably see, you can kind of see the lines of the dog barely. You can kind of still see them. If I put too much more color on there, I would obliterate those lines. So I want to kind of keep those. And then this, what I would do is I would just avoid the top of the eye so that pops a little bit, and leave the little white spot on the top of the nose. And that will help also, it creates a little highlight for the dog. Okay, so that's how I did those ones. So the next thing you're going to do is grab your little kiss tent, and we're going to glue the dog onto here. So I put the Tombow right onto one of the sides, and then I'll take my dog and just adhere it on there. Now you'll probably see just a little bit of the kiss tent peeking out on the corner right here. Don't worry about that. It's not very noticeable. And that's why I choose the same color in the back as I do that I stamp the dog on, so that kind of disappears in the back. And just make sure you line up the bottom of your dog with the end or the edge of the little tent right there. Then we're going to turn it over to the back, and I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow on the tent here and then on the back of the dog head. Then I'll take this piece. If you bend it just a little bit at the neck, it helps to get it in place. And then I'm just going to line up the top of the head first, and then I'll press down on the dog right here. Okay. And so that's basically it. All you need to do then is find the Hershey's Kiss or Kisses, and then you just slide it in like that. The tension of the foil holds that little kiss in place, so it's not going to go anywhere until someone takes a finger and pokes it right out. And so there is the cute little dog. These are just very cute favors. This would be cool too if you ever volunteer at a shelter, a dog shelter, a cat shelter, animal shelter. This could be a good little thing to hand out at a fundraising event because they're just so adorable. And it didn't take very long to make this at all, right? Okay, so now let's move on to the cat. And so let's start off with creating that little holder. So I'm bringing back in my Simply Scored, and I'm going to make a yellow cat or an orange cat just for a little bit of contrast. You can also make it with the gray granite cardstock or Whisper White if you want to. So for this piece, I'm starting with a piece of cardstock that is 3.5 inches by 1 inch. And I'll put this right up at the top of my scoring board, all the way to the side. And now I'm going to score, oh shoot. You know what? It's not 3.5, it's 3 3/4, and I cut it wrong. Give me just a second. I'm gonna go grab the correct size piece. Sorry, this was live, but let's get rid of that piece and pretend that didn't happen. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock. This color is So Saffron, and this piece measures 3 3/4 inches by an inch. Place that up at the top, and then you're going to score at the 1 inch mark, the 1.5 inch mark, the 2 1/4 inch mark, and the 2 3/4 inch mark. Let me go over those one more time. So we're going to score at 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 2 1/4 inches, and 2 3/4 inches. And this, of course, will be correct on your project sheet when you get it. So now we're going to fold this piece along the score lines. Okay. And then we're going to overlap the ends just like the other one, and we'll create this shape that looks like that. It's like a little trapezoid. So put it on one end. It doesn't matter because this is the same way. It's symmetrical. So just put Tombow on one end and then just overlap the two ends. And one thing we will pay attention to, and I'll just mention it right now, the skinnier, the longest side goes towards the bottom. That's the best way to describe it. The thick end goes towards the bottom because a nugget has a slight slope to it, so you'll want the longest side right there on the bottom. Okay, now we can set that aside, and I'll take a scrap piece of So Saffron and my cat, and back to the Memento ink. Just ink that up. And then I'm going to take my Mango Melody. I'm turning this kind of into an orange cat, but I used the lighter color cardstock on the bottom. So I'm going to take my light Mango Melody blend, and I'm just going to brush that all over my cat. And I'm going to come back in with the dark to highlight it. Now, if you want a lighter cat, you could just use the, you don't have to highlight this whole cat. Say you're making a lot of these, then just stamp it and then highlight it with probably the lighter of the two Stampin' blends, instead of turning this, doing the whole coloring thing. If you're making a lot, you want to try and maybe make it a little easier than if you were just making a few. Then I'm going to come in with my dark Mango Melody and just hit certain spots. I'm going to just hit the tail a little bit, this little highlighted spot, maybe down at the bottom here, the paws, maybe along the chest, just a little bit. And that just gives it a little bit of a highlight. Okay, and then you're going to run this through the Big Shot, and then that's what you will get. And you'll just use, or whatever die cutting machine you have. This is the little cat die, so you'll run that through like that. And this is the piece that you'll come up with. And you're also going to cut an extra piece, just like we did for the dog. And then we'll come in, and remember the longest side's on the bottom, and then we're going to put Tombow on one of the shortest sides. There's two short sides, so one of the short sides, the longest segments towards my facing down. And then I'm just going to line this cat up. I like to use the end of the body, and that's what I line up. The end of this little holder is what I do right here. And then on the back side, I'll just put Tombow on there. And then I'm just going to line up this shape right back here. And I kind of just hover over it and just kind of look to see that it looks like it's somewhat lined up. And then I'll take my little nugget holder. Now I have to be a little careful because these have just been glued on here. So I'm just going to carefully slide this in. And this holder should just be tight enough to get it in there and out of there without too much trouble. It's snug enough that it's not going anywhere, but it's shouldn't be hard to put in there. So there is the little cat. And again, I'll just go over the other cats that I made. This one was made stamped on gray granite, and I used the light basic black on here. It's very hard probably to see all the details, but you know, black cats are cats too. So, you know, you want to be able to do cats in different colors because people have all different color cats. So that's how you do a black one, which is probably the hardest one to do of all of them. And then a white cat right here. Sorry, this is a gray cat. So I did this on white cardstock. You could also do this on gray granite cardstock. And then I just used my gray granite blends in the two colors to color on there. So those are the cats and the dogs. And they're not very hard at all, right? Aren't they cute? So, so cute. All right, let's come back over here. And here I am. I'm going to see if there's any questions, and I'm sorry that I got the measurements wrong at first for the little nugget holder, but I did give you the correct measurements afterwards, and they will be correct on the project sheet later on when you get that, so it should be easy to follow along. Let me see if there's any questions. Good morning to everyone who's joining me. Good morning from all over the country. I love it. Awesome. It's so good to see everyone. Well, thank you so much for your compliments on my nugget holder. I didn't see any questions, but if you need any Stampin' supplies, there's a link over to my blog, and you can link over there to my store. My Stampin' Up store is down below as well. And don't forget about my BOGO sale because that's an awesome deal. Right now you can get additional products for free when you make a purchase in my Stampin' Up store. Let me see. Cindy just posted a comment that I'm trying to read. Cindy says she already envisions adding baker's twine and turning these into ornaments. Oh, that's a really cute idea. And maybe even if you have like a little, like a Santa hat stamp, you could make it into like a little bit more Christmassy. That would be really, really cute. Yeah, and you know, I love ornaments that are candy. Growing up, we used to have those, you know, those little um, uh, foil wrapped chocolates. The ones that we had came from Germany, and they had the little gold string, and you could tie them and hang them on the tree. I mean, those are so awesome. I love anything with candy in it that you know hangs on the tree, and then you can just pick it off. No one's gonna know that you ate some of the ornaments, right? Uh, all right. And if you love my YouTube tutorials and you want to see more of them, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You should see me in one of the corners in a pink shirt. And you can just click on that, and that will take you to my subscribe button. And if you subscribe, and if you want to get notifications, make sure you also click on the little bell that's beside that. Uh, Catherine said that we should also add a little jingle bell to the collar. Let me grab one of these. Yeah, that would be cute. You add like a little Santa hat and a little bell to the collar and tie it up. These would make really cute Christmas ornaments. You're absolutely right. I love it how people take the things that I make and then just add to them and make them even better. That's great, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend, and look for my project sheet in your inbox, in your email inbox tomorrow. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.